Hi, this is Jeannie Ortega with BREATHEcast, and in studio today we have a treat. We have the members of the multi-platinum alternative rock band Flyleaf, Kristen, Jared, and Pat, and we're just so excited. They have a new record out, Between the Stars, and we want to hear about the record and just hear about, you guys are about to go on a tour and just kind of what's been going on, hear about the songs in the record and just the feedback from your fans. We're honored to have you in BREATHEcast. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So I read that Between the Stars was just a very awesome process for you guys in terms of the songwriting and just the creating process. I know your EP, you put it out a year ago to serve for fans, you know, give them a little taste of what to expect, but this was your first project with Kristen in the band as together and just writing together. So tell us about that experience.
Yeah, I think you heard right. It was a really awesome experience. It was really great as a songwriter coming in with a whole band of songwriters and really being able to collaborate and share ideas. And, you know, I think we had certain things that we really connected on. You know, my band had broken up. They had a previous singer leave, you know, and so we connected on that. And then just other life situations that happened over the past, you know, couple years we got to pull from. And yeah, I felt really exhilarated writing with these guys. They're all super talented. So we just wanted to tell our stories as much as we could and put it out there as a journey, you know, for people to go on and experience life through our music.
Awesome. Do you guys have a song that's maybe your favorite or something that you kind of feel cool, like, you know, like you really went in on? And
actually, my favorite song on Between the Stars is Platonic. It's one that Samir wrote, and it's just put together really well. It was, you know, it was fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. And stylistically, were you guys, do you think that from the beginning of Flyleaf till now, do you think you guys have evolved stylistically, or you pretty much stayed the same? Like, I want to ask you guys, since you've been here from the beginning to now, what are your thoughts on it?
You know, I think we've evolved over the years. Every record cycle, we've learned something new or tried to bring something new to each record. And I think Between the Stars has a lot of new elements that are going to be exciting for the fans to hear. Kristen plays some keyboard and mess around with some weird instrumentation. And, you know, it's really great.
I got to hear it, and I love the record, and it's out now, so everyone can hear it. But I really enjoyed just the passion behind a lot of the music, you know, just collectively the hard rock, you know, guitars and all of that with your beautiful voice. I just felt like there was definitely a passion, and it just felt so authentic and raw, like the stuff was just real life stuff that was coming out in your art. Kristen, I wanted to ask you, coming into a band that had already such a large fan base, how was that for you? How was that transition? I know you were in your own band as well, so I want to hear about the fans that came over with you on your journey, but how was it for you coming into the Flyleaf brand that was already here?
So it was about, well, I've been in the band for about 2 years now, so it was just a little bit before that, and I was really in a time in my life when I was really unsure of what I was going to be doing as far as music went. My band had broken up, and so I was just working at a coffee shop, you know, writing some music, and really just in a kind of place in the wilderness, as they say, you know, and I was just working at a coffee shop when they called, and so you know, when I got this opportunity, I felt like even just the audition at least was something that I was supposed to take. You know, I really felt in that moment that God wanted me to do this, you know. Wow. So whether I was going to make the team or not, you know, I knew I was supposed to at least do the audition. And so I really just tried to take each moment for what it was, you know. So met the guys, great dudes, loved their families, and then once we started, you know, playing together, that felt really good. I think at first it was a challenge to sing someone else's songs that I hadn't written before, but it also, as a music listener and a music lover myself, not just of music that I write, but of other people's, it really allowed me to become a fan of Flyleaf, you know. Wow. And so I'd never had the opportunity to kind of see the music from the outside and then become a part of it. So that was actually really good for me because I got to kind of see their story, but then also figure out how that worked into my life.
That's great.
So fans, it was kind of all over the board. Anything you can imagine, from some that weren't super acceptable, some who were, some, all over the board. So I don't really pay attention to stuff online, whether it's good
You're
or
better
bad.
off.
You know what I mean? I mean, if they hit me up on Twitter, I'm very, big on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, because I love talking to the people that
That's awesome.
are there for us, and they're the people we make the music for. But so for me, it's mostly positive feedback, because if they're gonna seek me out, they're gonna usually be kind.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's
or maybe
good.
God's just put me in a bubble just to keep me here and feeling good about everything. But
And what about
Yeah.
you guys? I'm curious. Just having Kristen in the band, it's been 2 years. Now you have a full record out. I mean, they got a preview, and you guys were doing shows and stuff like that still. Has she added a dynamic to the group that perhaps is new, or a new following for you guys? Is it?
Kristen definitely has brought her own fans to the shows for sure, and
That's great.
but to the band she's added freedom and spontaneity, especially
Nice.
through the writing process, and it's just been fun making Between the Stars with her. So
Oh, that's incredible. And I know this might be an annoying question, but did you guys ever consider just starting over? Just starting over with you guys, and not, because I know you said there was there was some backlash, and then there was some that were supportive. Was that even a consideration, or were you guys just like, no, this is it, and we're moving forward?
I mean, well, we kind of did start over, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
It was, we were learning how to be a band, and
Yeah. Well, in terms of your name and stuff and your brand, I mean, I know it was already built, and
it's already hard enough just.
yeah, right. It's hard enough to get the name out. That's good though, and you guys stuck to it, and you know what? The record is great, and I know you have tons of supporters. I've seen tons of positive stuff about you guys and just your dynamic. So, I wanted to ask too, being a female in such a male-dominant industry, how's that like? Or do you got to be tough, or do you become one of the boys, or are you just the girl in that dynamic?
Well, I don't know what it's like to be a man, so I think so. I'm just going by my own experience, but I had brothers growing up, 2 brothers, and so I was just kind of like rolling in the dirt and playing soccer and t-ball, and I wasn't a super girly girl growing up because I had brothers and we were really close. So I've always had that. I've never had a hard time making guys as friends and just having that kind of camaraderie feeling. And so that's not hard. But, I mean, I think it can be a challenge sometimes for females in an industry that's very sex-driven.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes you can be kind of placed in this area where it's more about your image than the songs that you're writing, and so but I think all you can do.
Thankfully you're the full package.
Oh, well, thank you.
Right? Thank God.
That's sweet. Yeah. So yeah, you got to focus on the songs that you write.
Yeah.
I think if there's any advice I'd give to a female, it's just focus on the songs that you write before the way that you look or something, because I think songs, no matter what gender you are, will speak. So.
And I wanted to ask you, because I think, Pat, you scream, right? You're a screamer. And I heard that you were dabbing into screaming too. Is that something that you've adapted now that you've been with the guys?
I decided no go on that. It's not really my thing.
I hear you.
For me, I can't figure out how to keep my voice strong throughout a tour and not wreck my voice personally. So I kind of save my power for big notes instead. I just want to be authentic, So I did try
it.
it.
Good
I did
to be you. And
yeah.
I think that's really important. So I don't want to ask you guys, and any one of you are free to answer this. You guys have had tons of mainstream success as a band. With a message of Christ. Is it difficult to maintain that in an industry that anything goes, and kind of like, what do you have to do to stay on that road of being conscious of why you guys really do this? Or has the message changed for you? I mean,
It all goes back to the greatest commandment, really, you know. And anytime I feel myself getting confused about why I do this, like I make music because music was made for me, you know, and music really touched my life. So that, you know, that's where my mind is, I guess, about that.
That's beautiful. Anyone else? Do you have to like work harder to kind of stay in, just stay in the goal of what you really do this for?
Honestly, for me personally, I think being, you know, Christians but in a mainstream industry, I think if anything it just reminds me even more why I believe, you know, and
That's good.
yeah, and it reminds me where I need to go if ever I feel, you know, like I'm being led astray or whatever. But I think overall we all want to be loved. We all want peace. We all want hope. You know, everybody does. So I just think also we're really blessed because we have, you know, a whole group of believers in the band. And so no matter how our faith is manifested in very different ways, you know, we all have each other. So
That's great.
it's a pretty great place to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for just being so open with me and talking. I'm looking forward to everything that's coming in the future. Flyleaf,
Thank you.
they'll be on tour from October through to November. The album Between the Stars is out now, and you guys check it out. The single's out. They're just on fire together, and just there's new things happening. And thank you guys for watching Flyleaf on VC Pulse.